Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Onita and we are in the middle of the year. We are in June. It's around the halfway point where we get to freak out over books. What are the best? What are the worst? Do I have any more to read? And yes, I do. Welcome to the mid-year book freak out and let's get on with it. Question 1. Best books I've read so far in the year 2021. And they would be Project Hail Mary, Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, and the From Blood and Ash series. Project Hail Mary I've read recently. I haven't actually done a review. I was actually going to do a book talk about it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think book talks are for me. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was funny. The sci-fi elements and just space in general, it was just so incredible and awesome and very well detailed. Piranesi, this is a very strange, very short book. It's fantasy. I really enjoyed this book. It was very imaginative, quite vivid. You don't know what is happening and I really enjoyed it. It's a shame I'm not explaining the book properly because idiot me didn't write down any notes for it. But anyway, it was thoroughly enjoyable. And Plain Bad Heroines, it was awesome. Again, very atmospheric. There were some creepy elements into it. Left you guessing and wondering what the hell was happening throughout the whole book, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then From Blood and Ash, oh my gosh, I'm realizing that I actually really quite enjoy fantasy romance. I feel like I should explain to you what the book is about, but I don't think I will because this book is everywhere at the moment, but it was really good. The plot twist, kind of like towards the end, was really good. The world was fascinating enough, even though we didn't really get much world building in this one. It was still like intriguing and fascinating. And yeah, those are the best books I have read so far. Number 2, the best sequel I've read so far. Easy peasy. Dance with Dragons Part 1 by George R.R. Martin. The 5th book by Part 1 in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. Oh boy, did I really love this book. It was more darker. There goes my dog barking like a maniac. It was just more darker. And especially, look, I'm hoping we get to see Brain's powers a bit more when Winds of Winter comes out. I'm hoping we get like a better explanation of Brain's powers because I feel like we didn't really get much in the show. I could be wrong, but it just felt like there was more to Brain's powers than fucking season 8 of the show, you know what I mean? But I really love this book so much. Especially Part 1. Part 2 was a little slower. If I had read Part 1 and 2 back to back, I probably would have enjoyed Part 2 more, but definitely Part 1. And the second book in the Witcher series, Time of Contempt. I recently finished this book and oh, it was so good. Things are getting interesting. Definitely, I've heard someone say in a review that there's more character development with Geralt and Ciri, and that is definitely true. Like, Ciri is starting to become a little bit more mature from her, I guess you could say, bratty, typical princess, I'm a princess type shtick or whatever, you know what I mean? But it was really good. I love this series so much. For all my love of the From Blood and Ash series, I don't know if the sequels in that series hold up to the sequels in the series that I have just told you about. The series of From Blood and Ash is good as a whole, but these two are definitely like standouts for me, definitely. The release I haven't read yet, but I want to. This is a hard question because the recent releases that I've wanted to read, especially those released up until this point, I have already read. In all honesty, I want to read everything that seems like it could be for me. Of course, we can't read everything. Some books I do have are The Burning Girls, The Black Tongue Thief, For the Wolf, and Rabbits. Rabbits is an intriguing one. So, Rabbits, I just recently found out about it while I was searching for books online. It's basically it's kind of like a sci-fi, fantasy, crime, murder, mystery, thriller. I think it's actually more thriller than murder, mystery, crime, but there's this game, and I think people can escape their daily lives, and they can escape their daily lives and go into this game. There's like different levels in this game. Level 11 or something like that is quite a dangerous one, and if anyone, like, I only just briefly glanced at the synopsis, but I know it has something to do with the game. It's kind of sci-fi fantasy. I think it might be more sci-fi with just like the whole gaming aspect of it, kind of like Ready Player One. And just a character in a book. Oh, and the name of the game is Rabbits, which is why the book is called Rabbits. And something about stage 11 in the game that could have real life consequences for the world. I'm hoping to read it soon because I did buy the book, and it sounds intriguing. It really truly does. The other one, For the Wolf, I don't know too much about this one. I know it's fantasy, and the tagline that really stuck out for me. I don't really know too much about what the synopsis of the book is. I will tell you when I get to reading it in a TBR video. All I remember of it is the tagline that says, there are 2 daughters, one for the throne, one for the wolf. But the wolf is not an animal, the wolf is like a human. And if you like Uprooted, which I really like Uprooted by Naomi Novik, you will enjoy this book. So that intrigued me a lot, it really did. The Black Tongue Thief. I think I've heard this being labelled as fantasy horror. Don't know too much about it, but I ended up reading a little bit in a bookshop, in one of the bookshops that I went to this past week, and it definitely intrigued me. I don't know too much about what the synopsis is. I think from what I've heard and what I've glanced off at the back or just online is that someone is, I think it's like a typical fantasy where someone is hired to do something and they have like the set of skills to do that thing, but this character that gets hired to do the job for someone else, he's mixed up with the wrong people kind of thing. Like the job that he has to do, he's messing with the wrong person basically. And it was intriguing. I'm curious to see about the horror aspects in a fantasy setting. And The Burning Girls, I think, is by CJ Tudor. And it's from what I've heard, it's a supernatural crime or thriller book. I think it's thriller. No, why do I keep saying crime for? It's thriller. It's very interesting to me. It's got to do with, I think it's a little town that has a dark secret, and I'm pretty sure it might be witches. I don't know too much about that. When I get to the TBRs and when I get to reading these books in the TBR videos, I will let you know a little bit more about them. Number 4, the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Okay, so I have A Shadow and Ember, which is a spin-off series from Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think it's going to focus more on the gods, and the synopsis just sounds so good. Really does. I'm hoping we're going to see like the first maiden. Just by the synopsis of it, it seems like we might get to see the first maiden that no one either knows the name of or doesn't want to talk about the name. One of the two, but I'm very, very intrigued by it. A Slow Burning Fire by Paula Hawkins. I'm pretty sure it's a thriller. I don't know too much about it, but I know Girl on the Train is one of my favorite thrillers. I absolutely love it. I have not read, oh my god, what's that other one? Into the Water or something like that, I think it is. Have not gotten a chance to read that because I've rated The Girl on the Train so highly by her. I'm just nervous that her other books are not going to live up to it, but A Slow Burning Fire has definitely intrigued me again. Okay, let me have a look at the synopsis so I at least have some basic understanding of what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's about, so the tagline, like the beginning tagline says, what is wrong with you? There's this woman, she's hot-tempered, troubled, a loner. Some people call her dangerous. She's been judged her whole life. Miriam, it looks like it's going to be following different perspectives, like different points of view. So we have Laura, Miriam, Carla, Miriam. Okay, so Miriam knows that just because Laura is witnessed leaving the scene of a horrific murder with blood on her clothes, that doesn't mean she's a killer. bitter experience has taught her how easy it is to get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Then Carla is reeling from the brutal murder of her nephew. She trusts no one. Good people are capable of terrible deeds. But how far will she go to find peace? Innocent or guilty, everyone is damaged. Some are damaged enough to kill. Look what you started. That's the end tag it said at the bottom of the synopsis. It seems like they're all connected in some way or another. Either Laura, like the horrific murder, is Carla's nephew, and because Laura witnessed that murder, those two might be connected in that way. Miriam, I have no idea how she is. Like, obviously with her experience, she knows how Laura feels, and just, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really, truly am. And anyway, the wind blows. The third and final book in the Carry On trilogy. I'm excited to read this. I don't want to know too much about it other than it's the last book and I can't wait to get it in my hands. Number 5, my biggest disappointments. That is so fucking easy. You Love Me, book 3 in the You series by Caroline Kepnes. I just couldn't stand it. I really couldn't. Joe Goldberg's, like, is it perverse? Pervasive? His perverted, that's the word I'm looking for. His perverted look at women really made me feel uncomfortable. It never bothered me much in book 1 and 2 of the series, but in this one, oh, I could not. I hated the characters so much, especially the side characters. I looked at some reviews and some spoilers and oh my gosh, really? It just felt like a cash grab, this third book. It really truly did. I don't even know if the TV show is worth it. Like, seriously, I haven't even watched the show yet. Is it worth it? Please tell me. I can't stand Joe Goldberg now after after reading the third book. When I do an unhaul video, those books are going because I can't stand it anymore. Now, this next book is going to cause some controversy. I am prepared for it. And that is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Again, can't stand the characters. The only one that I actually may have liked a little bit is Henry, or what is his name? Henry, the British guy. And I didn't like it. It felt like it pushed the politics down your throat. And it just felt too good to be true. And it was too political for me. If it's politics in a fantasy setting, I eat that shit up. When it comes to like a contemporary setting it feels forced. And I like a little bit of subtlety in my politics when it comes to contemporary, but I probably have more to say, but I've kind of blanked this book out of my mind. I'm hoping her other book, I'm hoping that her newly released book, what is it, One Last Stop? I'm hoping that one will be better for me. Don't know, but we can only hope. Fingers crossed. And the third disappointment, The Conference of Birds. Conference of the Birds, I mean, by Ransom Riggs. Book 5 in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Didn't like it at all. Don't want to say too much because I have not done my wrap-up for May. I'm going to combine my May wrap-up with June as like a recent reads video type of thing. I had said before that I wanted to buy the first 3 books in the trilogy, the original trilogy, before it got extended, and read those again to see if I actually really do love the series. But after reading the last one, which I will read in like a month or 2, those books are going. Number 6, my biggest surprise. Yes, I have 2. I have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Really enjoyed it. I really truly did. I don't know when I'll get around to reading the other books in this series. Hopefully this year. Maybe not finish it completely, but definitely read like books 2 and 3. Because I really did enjoy it. Just the magic, the world. I really like Selena. And oh, it was so good. It really truly was. And Breach of Peace by Daniel Green. He's a fellow booktuber, and I've been following him for years now. It was a really good book. It definitely surprised me. I'm curious to see where this book and also the other 2 novellas lead up into the main series. And it's actually given me a little bit of confidence into self-publishing or indie published authors, which is definitely something I want to get more into Maybe not this year because I have too many books I want to get to, but definitely next year. The more I think about it, the more I feel like the characters were a little weaker, but it was the mystery and the world and what the hell are these creatures that was really intriguing. And like I said, I'm very curious to see where it's going to go from now. Or where it's going to go from there. Number 7, do I have a new favourite author, whether it be debut or new to me? Again, this is a hard question. I usually don't think about who my favourite authors are, because if I read a book from an author that I really like, chances are I will continue reading their work. Or if I enjoy the writing in the book but could not stand the book at all, I will give them another chance. But I guess, so that's why this question was so hard for me to answer. But I'm going to have to answer it because it's a part of the, it's a part of this book tag thing that's going around now. Definitely Jennifer L. Armentrout. Definitely her. Because I pre-ordered the second one halfway through. Sorry. I pre-ordered the second book in the From Blood and Ash series halfway through reading From Blood and Ash. I instantly pre-ordered the other ones in the series, like the third one, and then also first one in the new spin-off series. So definitely her. And then I've also bought 2 other books from her in a series that she's written, and the recent one just released. So definitely her. Newest fictional crush. I don't usually think about fictional crushes, but Castile, Hawk, Castile. Same thing, that really hot guy or hot guard from Blood and Ash series. Oh yeah, definitely him. And he is my one and only crush as well, because I don't really think about my crushes or anything, so he's a lucky guy. Favorite character. Again, similar to my a favorite fictional crush. I don't think about that very often because, why is that? I have it written down somewhere. Oh yes, I do have ones that are memorable. But to say ones that are favourite, I don't know, probably, no, can I have my crush as a favourite? But see, I don't know, because I don't think about that. I have ones that are memorable and that stick in my head, but favourite? I just can't pick favourites. Then when it comes to, I have it written down on my notes that maybe Tyrion from A Song of Ice and Fire. But then, I don't know, he's definitely a loved character for me and he's definitely memorable, but favorite? I just don't think I like that word favorite very much. I really don't, because you can't play favorites. I don't know, but yeah, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. 10, a book that made me cry. I have not yet recently read a book that made me cry. I've definitely had books that have gotten me emotional or just so scared about what's going to happen to a character. I'm not usually an emotional person either. Oh wait, maybe there was a book. Can't think. Why do I feel like there was a book? And now I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, if I remember, the time I edit this, I'll just leave something down below on the bottom of the screen. If not, then it's just blank up until this point, then it's nothing. A book that made me happy from Blood and Ash series. I really haven't stopped thinking about that series and also the characters in that series since I've read the books. I just love that book series so much. Because I read a lot of dark, intense, high stakes books, I just don't have any happy, cheery books. But definitely from Blood and Ash series, definitely that book. The most beautiful book I've bought or received this year. I have a lot. I have not done my book haul, so a lot of these are going to be new. Like I said, there's a lot. The first one I'm currently reading is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Or Michaelides, I don't know how you say that name. Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Because I have a lot of books here, I'm not going to give too much detail on what they are. But I also have We Hunt the Flame by Hafsar Faisal. And also the second and last book in the duology, We Free the Stars by the same author. I've mentioned these books enough times on my channel. Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, well, book 3. Dune Messiah was book 2 in the Dune series. God Emperor of Dune, book 5. Heretics of Dune, book Did I just say book 5? This one's book 4. I can't remember what I said. This is 4, this is 5. And book 6, Chapter House Dune by Frank Herbert. Now I just have to put on my big girl panties and read them. Girl on the Walls by A.J. News. Probably my favourite book cover I have ever seen in my life. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Circus of Wonders by Elizabeth McNeil. I don't know if this is going to be my last bundle. It did say book, but I have too many beautiful books. Sister Song by, who was it? Lucy Holland. The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. And this is the exclusive edition as well. Like, I do have other books that, like, book covers that are beautiful and that are stunning, but those books I just showed you, like, were the most prettiest books, or book covers I should say. But I guess you could say that the books I've shown you kind of hypnotized me in a way. Like, there are book covers that are just beautiful and stunning. But if I were to tell you all the book covers I thought were beautiful, I might as well just show you like my whole bookcase, you know what I mean? I'm going to need my laptop on my lap for this because I have quite a few books that I need to read by the end of the year. So I have the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, the Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I want to get those trilogies started and finished by the end of the year. The rest of the books in the Grishaverse, especially the Shadow and Bone series, that trilogy there. I want to finish off the Ark of a Scythe trilogy. Books 3 to 5 in the Outlander series, I don't know if I will be able to get to them because those books are starting to get a bit long. I don't know if I will ever, well, not ever, I will get to them. I just don't know if this year will be a good time. I want to get to 3 and 5, 3 to 5 in the series, but it's going to be a little difficult. I'm going to have to figure out a way how to do that. I want to finish off the Witcher series, which I'm definitely on track to doing. I want to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have a special edition coming through. It'll come around September, October, I think. I want to finish off the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I have one more book and then I'm done. And then I want to read as much as I can on my physical TBR. Yeah, I've got a full plate of reading to do. So let me tell you a little bit about the statistics. I don't want to do all of them, I just have 2 statistics that I want to talk about. So out of the 50 books that I want to read this year, as of filming this today, I have read 35, which is pretty good. Well, for me at least. And in terms of page count, I have read 13,798 pages so far. Thanks to all those big fantasy series, that has definitely helped a lot. So that is the mid-year book freak out. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was definitely interesting just talking about the books I've read so far, what I liked, disliked, and it was fun. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!